PT.2 Discover the incredible transformation. Homeless girl heals billionaire's daughter, Revea. Mia shuffled through the bustling streets of downtown Chicago, the weight of her world clutched in the fingers of her right hand. In that hand was a tattered drawing, its creases worn and edges torn. It depicted her family, smiling, before everything fell apart. The noise of traffic and shouts of vendors filled the air, drowning out her thoughts, but she pushed on. Heartache gnawed at her insides, yet her spirit burned bright, refusing to let the harshness of life extinguish her hope. Each day, she sought the solace of small acts. Today, after sharing her last bit of food with a fellow street dweller, she slipped into the sanctuary of a community garden tucked away behind a line of graffitied buildings. Here, nature's quiet resilience mirrored her own struggle for survival. She kneeled down, fingers playing in the dirt, coaxing weeds from the roots of overgrown flowers. "These flowers, they're fighters," Mia murmured, as she heard footsteps nearby. Claire stood at the garden's edge, golden hair catching the sunlight. The daughter of Chicago's wealthiest family, she evaded the prying eyes of a world defined by affluence. Behind her pretty facade lay the heavy burden of grief, her brother's death still raw. She wasn't here for the flowers. She was searching for a fragment of peace amid the chaos her life had become. "Can I help?" Claire's voice, soft yet trembling, startled Mia. Mia glanced up, momentarily surprised. "Sure. Pull those weeds, and don't be gentle." A smile cracked through her guarded demeanor. As Claire knelt beside her, Mia shared stories about the garden's potential, revealing how beauty could emerge from the mundane. A rusted fence transformed into a canvas of art and wildflowers flourishing against all odds. "Why do you care so much?" Claire's question hung in the air, chasing away the silence. "Because hope is all we have sometimes," Mia replied, feeling a tightness in her chest but also an undeniable sense of purpose. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. They began to forge an unlikely bond, sharing their stories bit by bit. Claire revealed the suffocating expectations from her family, and the emptiness that echoed through her home after her brother's accident. It was the first time Mia had heard someone else voice the ache of familial disconnect. With every word shared, the walls they'd both built began to shake, but soon, the discovery of their friendship sparked outrage among Claire's family. Mia stood her ground against them, her heart racing as she confronted the prejudices that sought to define their lives. "You don't know who she really is," she shouted. The tension hit a breaking point, lines drawn between worlds neither girl ever chose. Mia's fierce spirit ignited something in Claire, forcing her to confront her own privilege and the emotional scars she carried. As the afternoon sun faded, shadows stretched across the ground, leaving behind the uncertainty of what would come next. Facing their truths together, the girls lingered on the edge of transformation, leaving the reader yearning for the courage to bridge the divide between their worlds. What would they choose as the night fell, and their futures flickered uncertainly in the twilight? Mia sat in the garden, the weight of the world still pressing on her chest, but for the first time in a while, she felt a flicker of hope. The afternoon sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and violet, and as she glanced sideways at Claire, she felt a warmth spread through her, a connection that seemed fragile yet powerful. "Do you ever think about what comes next?" Claire asked, her voice barely above a whisper, as she gently pulled a stubborn weed from the earth. "What do you mean?" Mia replied, brushing dirt from her hands. "I don't know. Like after all this," Claire gestured around her, encompassing the garden, the disconnect from her family, the grief. "What's next for us?" Mia paused, contemplating the weight of the question. The future always felt like a daunting abyss. "I think we have to choose what we want it to be. I just want to find a place where people are kind to each other," she said, her heart beating a little faster. Claire chewed on her lip, uncertainty etched in her brow. But how do we repair the damage? It's overwhelming. Step by step, Mia said, her tone firm yet soothing. And sometimes we need to break the rules a little. Just then, Claire's phone buzzed in her pocket, vibrating against the chaos of their discussion. She hesitated before pulling it out, her face paling as she read the message. "It's my parents. They want me home now," she said, voice trembling. Mia felt a flash of despair. She knew the weight of family expectations all too well. "You should go." "No," Claire exclaimed, frustration washing over her. "I don't want to. They don't understand anything. Maybe they will one day, but you have to show them. Fight for it, Claire." Mia insisted, rising to her feet as the urgency grew. "You already have the courage to step out of your life. Don't stop now." Claire stared at her, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Will you be okay?" She took a step closer, fear lacing her voice. "I'm tougher than I look." Mia mustered a smile, though it felt brittle. "I'll be here." With a heavy heart, Claire took one last look at the vibrant garden and then turned, beginning to walk away. Each step felt sharp and heavy, like leaving a piece of herself behind. As she approached the gate, she paused and turned back. "Mia, promise me you won't give up on this place." "Promise," Mia said, her voice steady. Claire breathed a shaky sigh and finally stepped through the gate, disappearing into the evening shadows, leaving Mia alone in the fading light. Mia knelt back down, fingers digging into the earth, but it felt different now. A pulse of energy radiated through the soil, reminding her of the flowers she nurtured. She could almost see Claire with her again, laughing and pulling weeds. But as the darkness crept in, unseen tendrils began to wrap around her heart. She felt so small and isolated, unsure of her next move. Yet, the flicker of hope had ignited a brave thought. Maybe the garden could be more than just a refuge. Mia took a deep breath and looked around, the stars beginning to wink into existence above her. "What if we turn this place into something bigger?" she asked the night. The idea sparked like fire, and for the first time, she felt the thrill of possibility. With renewed determination, she began to envision plans for the garden, where people could come together, from all walks of life. But just as she started to sketch out the needs of her vision in the dirt, a shadow loomed in the distance. Someone was approaching, silhouetted against the dim light. Panic surged through her. What if they wanted to destroy what she'd just started to imagine? "Who is there?" Mia called out, a tremor in her voice, as she readied herself to defend her newfound sanctuary. The answer that met her ears would set into motion a chain of events that could either break her or change everything forever. Mia's heart raced as she squinted into the encroaching shadows. The figure stepped into the garden's wavering light, a tall, slender silhouette, unmistakably human. Anxiety clawed at her throat, but she steadied her breath, squeezing her fists tight. "Who are you?" she repeated, her voice firmer this time, clenching the dirt beneath her nails. The figure hesitated, then moved closer. It was a girl, not much older than Mia, with wild, curly hair catching the glow of the setting sun. I didn't mean to scare you," she said, her voice soft and wavering. "I was just walking by." Mia relaxed slightly, though caution still held her in its grip. "You shouldn't be here at this time. It's getting dark." "I know," the girl replied, glancing around at the garden's wild beauty. "But it looked so peaceful. Can I stay for a minute?" Mia studied her, the sudden shift in emotions having left her unsettled. Was this girl running from something? Or escaping something more profound? "Why here?" Mia asked, crossing her arms, still weary of strangers. The girl tucked her hands into the pockets of her oversized hoodie. I don't have anywhere else." Her gaze dropped to the ground, a flicker of vulnerability breaking through her unassuming appearance. "I'm just living in my car right now. This garden feels warm, inviting, I guess." Mia's heart sank. A wave of empathy coursed through her. That's tough, she said, lowering her arms, letting warmth seep into her tone. I get it, you know. This place is special to me too. The girl looked up, surprise woven into her features. Really? Yeah, Mia admitted, feeling a connection starting to spark between them. It's like a safe haven. I'm Mia, by the way. Lena, the girl replied, her lips curling into a tentative smile. I thought maybe I was the only one who found it wonderful. Mia gestured around them. It's not just me. I've been trying to turn it into something more, something that brings people together. She felt her own excitement creeping back in, the weight of her worries dimming a bit. Maybe you could help. Lena's eyebrows shot up. Help? How? I have ideas like workshops, community events. I want to show everyone this place can be a refuge, not just for me, but for anyone who needs it. Wow, that sounds amazing. The light in Lena's eyes flickered with possibilities. But I have no experience. What if I mess it up? Then we'll figure it out together, Mia said, her heartbeat quickening with the rush of inspiration flooding back. We can learn. Maybe start small, plant some flowers, tend to the garden, and let people see what it can become. Lena smiled wider, excitement sparking within her. It could be like a fresh start for both of us. The thought settled in Mia's heart, igniting a flame of hope. The garden held potential not only for growth above the soil but beneath it too. But as they exchanged dreams, Mia sensed something shift in the air. An old fear whispered through the trees surrounding them. What if their vision was met with disapproval? What if the reality of their lives held them back from this beautiful promise of connection? Mia. Lena interrupted her thoughts, her expression curious. What if no one else wants to join? Mia took a moment to absorb the question. Then we'll create it for ourselves, she replied, resolutely. And maybe, just maybe, others will follow. Before Lena could respond, the distant sound of a car engine hummed nearby, approaching quickly. Mia's heart dropped. Is someone coming? Lena looked frightened, her earlier confidence flickering like a candle in the wind. Mia nodded, feeling an unexpected twist of dread. We need to find out together. They glanced toward the approaching headlights, as uncertainty took hold of the night. What awaited them was anyone's guess, and whether it would shatter their dreams or lead them to something more beautiful was a question they both feared to ask. Mia and Lena held their breath as the headlights drew nearer, bathing the garden in a harsh, blinding glow. The calm of their earlier conversation evaporated, replaced by a static tension in the air that made Mia's skin tingle. What if it's someone dangerous? Lena whispered, her voice trembling. Mia shook her head, trying to project confidence. We can handle whatever it is. We just need to stick together. The car slowed, the engine rumbling like a distant storm. A figure emerged from the passenger side, stepping out into the light. Mia's heart leaped into her throat when she recognized the unmistakable silhouette of her father. Dad? She called out, her voice breaking the spell of uncertainty. His familiar tall frame came into view as he walked toward them, his expression tense. Mia? Are you okay? The relief flooding Mia's chest was bittersweet as she saw the worry etched on his face. I'm fine. I was just talking to Lena. Mia turned, her eyes searching for Lena, but the girl had taken a step back, her nervousness returning as uncertainty masked her features. The contrast of their emotions could not have been clearer. Mia's sense of safety and Lena's instinct to run. We should go, Mia. It's late, her father urged, glancing at Lena with suspicion, his protective instincts flaring. Mia hesitated. No. Wait. She's okay, Dad. She needs this place, just like I do. Listen to me, he began, his voice stern. Dad, please. The desperation in Mia's voice cut through the air. She's living in her car. This garden can help her. It can help both of us. Her father stilled, taking a moment to process her words. Mia held her breath, hoping that he would understand. The last thing she wanted was to lose Lena before they even had a chance to build their dreams together. As the tension developed into a standoff, Lena suddenly cleared her throat, breaking the silence. "I'm sorry for intruding. I didn't mean to interrupt your time together. I can go." "No." Mia cried, reaching out a hand. "We can make this work. Trust me." Her father looked between the two girls, measuring the weight of Mia's determination against his own instinct to protect. "You can't just bring strangers into our lives, Mia." "You don't know actually, I do," Mia interrupted softly, her tone calmer but resolute. "She's not a stranger anymore. And I care about her." Something shifted in her father's expression. He opened his mouth to argue, but then paused, seeing the fierce light in Mia's eyes. "Fine," he finally said. "I'll give you this. Just keep your distance and don't overextend your kindness. You never know who might take advantage." "No one is taking advantage of anyone here," Mia asserted, annoyance creeping into her voice. Her father sighed, giving the faintest nod that suggested he was still uneasy but willing to let her make her choices for now. Mia turned back to Lena, a mixture of relief and excitement rushing through her. "See? We can do this together." Lena's eyes widened, a glimmer of hope igniting between them. "Really? You mean it?" "Absolutely," Mia said with a smile. As laughter bubbled up from within them both, slowly pushing away the weight of fear that lingered in their hearts, they felt an unspoken promise envelop them, a shared understanding that their lives were now intertwined. But as their plans blossomed with newfound hope, a dark cloud loomed in the distance, casting a shadow over their dreams yet to unfold. Mia felt that familiar whisper tugging at her heart again. What if her father's fears were not unfounded? Could the garden truly bring them together, or would it ultimately drive them apart? The night air crackled with unspoken questions as they stood facing the uncertain future. What would tomorrow hold for them in the garden and for the fragile friendship that had just begun? The morning sun broke through a tangle of branches, casting dappled light into the garden. It felt fresh and alive, but Mia's mind was clouded with uncertainty. She couldn't shake the worries that buzzed like bees in her head. How would they balance each other's lives? Could Lena truly fit into the world Mia had known for so long? As she tiptoed through the garden, surveying the vibrant flowers and untamed greenery, Lena's laughter echoed in her mind. It had been a fleeting sound, but it wrapped around her heart like a cozy blanket. Mia wanted to hold on to that feeling, to cling to the warmth of new beginnings. "Hey, Mia!" Lena called, popping her head through the garden gate. Her hair was wild, and she wore a big smile that lit up her features. "You won't believe how amazing this place looks in the morning light." Mia couldn't help but smile back. "It's beautiful, right? Just wait until you see the roses bloom." Lena stepped into the garden, her eyes wide with wonder. "They're going to look so amazing in here." As they wandered among the flowers, the air buzzed with the fragrance of honeysuckle and blooming jasmine. It was still a strange sensation having Lena there, especially after the night's tension, but something in Mia's gut told her they were doing the right thing. "So, what's the plan?" Lena asked. There was excitement in her eyes, an innocent eagerness that tugged at Mia's heart. "What do you want to start with?" Mia paused, glancing at the patch of earth that was once overgrown but now, thanks to their late-night discussions, felt brimming with possibility. "Let's put in a vegetable patch. We could grow our own food." "Really? We can do that?" The wonder in Lena's voice made it clear she'd never imagined such a thing. "You mean I can actually help?" "Of course. We can learn together." As they started clearing the ground, laughter sprinkled into the air like confetti. For a moment, it felt as if the weight of the world had lifted. But just as the joy blossomed, so did the gnawing feeling in Mia's chest, a reminder that they didn't know what the future held, not for them or their friendship. Later that day, while they took a break, Mia noticed Lena staring at the weathered fence bordering the garden. "You okay?" she asked. Yeah, just thinking, Lena replied, biting her lip. Do you ever wonder if we're both running away from something instead of really moving towards something? Mia felt her heart constrict. That question struck deep. I guess I hadn't thought about it like that. I just want to make this work. Lena nodded slowly. I get it. I do. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to escape who I really am. Maybe we can figure that out together, Mia said with a tentative smile. But a shadow crossed Lena's face. But what if it's too late? What if I can't change? The comment hung in the air, heavy and unsettling. It was a challenge no one wanted to face, yet it was grounded in reality. They both had their struggles. Mia took a deep breath, trying to inspire hope. We'll see. It's not too late for either of us. Just then, the distant rumble of thunder echoed in the skies, a warning of the storm brewing above. Lena shivered slightly, drawing her arms around herself. Are you sure we're ready for this? Mia locked eyes with Lena, determination shining through the fear. We have to be. But as the dark clouds gathered overhead, an unsettling tension settled back into the air surrounding them. What trials lay ahead? Could they truly face their fears together, or would their pasts tear them apart? The gathering storm whispered secrets, hinting at the challenges that awaited them. Would they find refuge in each other's company, or would the tempest carry them away from this fragile dream they dared to weave? Lena wrapped her arms around herself tighter as the first drops of rain began to patter against the leaves overhead. Mia could feel the atmosphere shift. A mix of excitement and anxiety crackled between them like static electricity. Maybe we should head inside, Mia suggested, scanning the gathering clouds. Lena hesitated, lost in thought. No, I actually like the storm. It feels alive, you know. Alive, or tumultuous? Mia countered gently. She didn't want to dampen Lena's spirits, but the thought of rain pouring down on their work made her uneasy. At last, Lena shrugged, a smile creeping up her face despite the looming thunder. Let us stay out here a little longer. Just us, and the storm. Mia nodded, feeling the weight of Lena's determination. They shared a quiet moment, just standing side by side, as the wind began to whip through the garden, rustling the branches around them. You know, Lena started, her voice barely above a whisper, maybe the storm is a metaphor for what we're going through. It's chaotic now, but it might clear the air eventually. Mia smiled, appreciating Lena's optimism. I like that. A cleansing storm. It sounds poetic. Exactly. It's like everything we're afraid of is out there, swirling around, and we have to face it to really grow. As the drizzle became more pronounced, Lena lifted her face up, letting the drops hit her cheeks. Mia marveled at how carefree Lena seemed, even in the face of uncertainty. Okay, I think I could learn a lot from you. Mia laughed, her heart lightening with each passing moment. Just as they stood there, the heavens opened up. It began to pour, heavy sheets of rain that caught them by surprise. Mia! Run! Lena shrieked, laughing as she sprinted for the garden shed. Mia followed, exhilarated by Lena's pure joy, not concerned with her own wet clothes or the muddy ground. They tumbled into the shed, breathless from laughter and the sprint. Inside, it was cozy, tools and old pots rested against the walls. I love this. It's like we're hiding from a monster outside, Lena giggled, brushing rain from her face. More like a friendly giant, Mia countered, playful. One that offers free showers. Their laughter faded into comfortable silence as they listened to the rain pounding on the roof. It felt like a world of their own, separated from everything else. Still, a worry nagged at Mia's heart. This moment of joy felt laced with the reality of their fears. Are we really brave enough to face everything that's out there? Mia finally asked, breaking the silence. Lena chewed on her lip. I don't know. But I think we're stronger together. At least, that's what I hope for. Mia felt a warmth spread in her chest, but doubt tickled her mind. Together, Yes, but what if we're not enough? What if we end up just hurting each other? Lena turned serious, looking deep into Mia's eyes. We won't know unless we try. The storm will pass either way. But the real question is, do we want to stand together in the downpour? Mia's heart raced at Lena's demeanor. There was a depth to her words that sent shivers down Mia's spine. Would standing together be their salvation, or would it reveal the cracks that had started to form, as the rain continued to cascade outside, shrouding the garden in a curtain of gray? Mia couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Maybe it's not just about facing the storm. Maybe we need to learn to embrace it too. Exactly. Lena agreed, and for a moment, the shed felt like a fortress against the tempest outside, but then a loud crack of thunder boomed, rattling the shed, and they both jumped in surprise. Their eyes met in an instant of shared terror, and in that moment, it was clear, the world around them was changing, and they were about to be swept up in something bigger than either of them had ever imagined. As the storm roared on, a part of Mia wondered if they would really have the strength to weather it together. What would they discover about themselves and each other when the skies finally cleared? The rain pounded against the shed like a steady drumbeat, drowning out the world outside. Inside, the air felt thick with anticipation, a charged energy that danced between them, matching the rhythm of the storm. Mia's heart raced as she looked at Lena, who had a sparkle in her eye, her wet hair sticking to her forehead, framing her face in a way that made Mia's breath hitch. What if this storm is just the beginning of something bigger? Lena mused, her voice barely rising above the thrum of the rain. She moved closer, leaning against the wall, her eyes searching Mia's. Mia swallowed hard, feeling exposed in the small space, their bodies so close. The notion of something bigger hung heavy in the air. What do you mean? She asked, trying to mask the flutter of hope. Lena's smile faded slightly, replaced by a seriousness that tugged at Mia's heart. I mean, what if the chaos around us is just a reflection of what we're not facing inside ourselves? The true weight of Lena's words sunk in. Memories of heartache and resentment flooded Mia's mind. She hadn't even realized how much she'd been carrying. You think we have to face our own storms? Absolutely, Lena affirmed, an intensity in her gaze that drew Mia in. And maybe exploring those storms together could help us heal. The rain drummed louder, as if echoing the growing tumult inside Mia. A mix of fear and excitement curled in her belly like smoke from a fire. Could she really open up? The thought of vulnerability terrified her. Yet, looking into Lena's eyes, she felt a flicker of courage stir within, igniting a spark of hope. What if we end up hurting each other? Mia asked, her voice shaking slightly. It was a risk that felt monumental, one she was hardly prepared for. We might, but we might also find healing, Lena replied softly. We'll never know what we can withstand unless we take the leap. Mia's pulse quickened. The thought of opening up excited her and terrified her all at once. What about our pasts? Mine's a messy tangle of disappointment and failure, Mia confessed, finally laying bare a piece of herself she had kept hidden. Lena's smile returned, warm and inviting. That's okay. I want to know every part of you, the messy, the beautiful, all of it. The sincerity in Lena's voice wrapped around Mia like a blanket, warm and comforting. You really mean that? Mia whispered, her doubt fading into something softer, something hopeful. Of course, I do. We all have storms. It's what shapes us. For a moment, all the noise outside faded away. The chaos of the storm felt like a backdrop to the intimacy building between them. The distance between their hearts seemed to shrink as they embraced the concept of opening up, of navigating their insecurities together. Mia felt a tear slip down her cheek, a mix of relief and release, as the rain outside continued to roar like a symphony. I'm scared, but I want to try, then let's face it together, storm and all, Lena promised, her voice steady. They locked eyes, a silent agreement forming between them. This was the moment when they both knew that everything was about to change. But just then, the door of the shed shook violently, rattling against its frame, and they jumped apart in shock. The wind howled outside, fierce and uncontrolled. What was that? Mia gasped, adrenaline pumping through her. Lena's expression turned serious again. It could be a sign or it could just be the storm. Either way, it means we have to decide. Are we ready to embrace whatever comes next? Mia felt the weight of the question settle around them like fog. As the storm raged, she knew they were on the brink of a revelation, an unpredictable journey that would challenge everything they thought they knew about themselves and each other. With uncertainty crackling in the air and the storm brewing outside, Mia took a deep breath. Together, we'll weather it. But outside, a flash of lightning illuminated the darkened sky, and in that instant, Mia felt a terrifying possibility take shape. What if the chaos they feared was only the beginning of a much greater upheaval? Would the storm clear their paths or would it tear them apart? The door rattled again, sending a fresh wave of fear through Mia. She felt a cold sweat trickle down her back, the air growing heavy with tension. Was it just the storm, or was something more sinister lurking outside? Maybe we should, she started, but Lena cut her off with a firm gaze. No, Lena said, resolute. We can't run away now. We need to stand our ground. Mia's heart raced as she weighed her options. The storm outside was a chaos of wind and rain, but the chaos within her felt even louder. Daring to break eye contact for just a moment, she glanced toward the door, half expecting something or someone to burst through. But all she saw was the dark, swirling shadows that the storm had driven in. Feeling the weight of the moment, Lena took a step closer, their bodies inches apart again. Mia, listen to me, she said softly. This is about more than just the storm outside. It's about us. About breaking down these walls we've built. Mia nodded but felt a knot in her stomach. What if we let each other down? She whispered, her voice barely carrying above the tempest. We won't know unless we try, Lena replied, her tone unwavering. I want you to trust me. Not just with my heart but with your own. The sincerity in Lena's eyes ignited a flicker of hope in Mia, mixed with the fear of exposure. Every heartbeat felt like a drum, urging her to open up, to embrace the vulnerability that had always terrified her. Just then, a deafening crack of thunder rumbled overhead, reverberating through the shed. Mia jumped, feeling the shudder of the structure respond to the power of the storm. It feels like the world is shaking, she murmured, shaking slightly. It is, Lena whispered, reaching out and taking Mia's hands. But that's how real change happens. Sometimes the ground needs to shake underneath you to clear the way for something new. As their hands intertwined, Mia felt heat spread through her. It was warm and reassuring, grounding her amidst the chaos. So, what do we do? She breathed, looking deep into Lena's unwavering gaze. Let us share our storms, Lena said, her voice steady and inviting, yet charged with emotion. We'll speak our truths, one layer at a time. I'll go first. There's a reason I've held so tightly to my past. Mia felt a mix of encouragement and fear as Lena prepared to unveil her own truth. She wanted to know, she didn't want to hold back, but what if Lena's story mirrored too closely her own? What if their storms were destined to clash? I lost my father when I was a child, Lena began, her voice trembling just a fraction. He was everything to me, but his loss broke my family apart. I've been scared of relationships ever since, afraid to get too close or to lose someone again. It's why I'm here, why I wanted to help others. Mia's breath caught in her throat. Lena, I didn't know. It's okay, Lena said, squeezing Mia's hands tighter. I haven't let anyone in, not really. But here with you, I want to. I want to take this leap of faith. A surge of empathy welled up in Mia, fighting against her own fears. I still carry guilt about my own parents, she admitted, her heart racing at the vulnerability of revealing this. We drifted apart and I never felt like I did enough to keep us together. Like I let them down. The sound of the storm outside seemed to hush for a moment, swallowing the noise as the two girls shared their pain, their eyes locked tightly as they navigated the choppy waters of their emotions. "This can't just be about sharing our hurts," Lena said after a beat, her voice firm. "We also need to talk about what we want, the kind of future we can build together, if we allow it." Suddenly, the realization hit Mia like another thunderclap. The storm outside was becoming a metaphor for their tumultuous path forward. Would they rebuild their lives stronger, fighting through the torrential downpour of emotions? Before she could respond, a final strike of lightning illuminated the shed, bright and blinding. In that moment, Mia saw not just the fears before them but a possibility, a flicker of the brighter journey that awaited on the other side. "Are you ready?" Lena asked, her eyes sparkling despite the storm. "Ready?" Mia echoed, feeling her heart swell with determination. "For the waves that might knock us down, or lift us up?" Lena clarified, squeezing her hands tighter. "Yes, let us ride it together," Mia affirmed, her voice clear and filled with newfound hope, but just as they shared this hopeful moment, the door banged open violently, revealing a dark figure outlined against the storm. Mia gasped, her heart pounding, as fear gripped her once more. "Who is there?" In an instant, the calm they had built cracked under the weight of what was about to be revealed. Would this storm bring them together or tear them apart altogether? Mia's heart raced, every instinct screaming for her to run. The figure stood silhouetted in the doorway, shadowy and imposing, as rain trickled down the frame like tears. The wind howled behind it, almost like a voice urging them to flee. "Mia, stay close," Lena whispered, her grip on Mia's hands tightening, anchoring her in place. As the figure stepped forward, the dim light revealed a man, soaked to the bone, face etched with a mixture of desperation and determination. He was older, maybe in his 40s, his clothes tattered and clinging to his skin like the storm itself. The fear that flooded Mia began to mingle with curiosity. "Who are you?" she managed to ask, her voice trembling but resolute. "I'm sorry to intrude," he said, his voice hoarse but clear. "I need shelter. The storm, it swept me away." Despite her fear, Mia's instinct to help began to flicker to life. Lena's grip shifted, and Mia felt the full weight of the moment. This wasn't just about them anymore, someone was in need right in front of them. "You can come in," she said, though her heart hammered with uncertainty. The man stepped cautiously through the doorway, eyes darting around as if seeking an escape route. "Thank you," he said, though his gaze settled on Lena. "You two shouldn't be out here alone in this. It's dangerous." Lena's gaze hardened slightly, standing her ground as she shifted protectively beside Mia. "We can handle ourselves." Acknowledging her strength, Mia breathed a little easier. They were in this storm together, after all. "The town isn't safe," the man continued, shaking water from his hair and startling Mia again. "There's talk of desperation out there. People are losing their heads, doing things they'd never do otherwise." Mia swallowed hard, the image he painted flashing through her mind. She felt the weight of her own fears grab hold of her. "Why are you out in it then?" she asked, her voice steadier now. "I lost everything in the last storm, my home, my family," he replied, emotion brimming in his eyes. "But I won't lose myself to the madness. I'm just looking for a way to survive." The honesty in his voice tugged at her heart. It was a reminder of the frailty of stability, of how quickly everything could fall apart, just as it had in her family. "I understand," Mia said softly, vulnerability spilling out. "We've felt like we're fighting our own battles, too. This storm, it feels personal." Lena stepped forward, her gaze softening. "We can help each other find a way through this," she suggested. The storm had brought them together, after all. The man met their eyes, surprise flickering across his face. "Help? You're all so young, what could you possibly?" "Maybe we can keep each other company," Lena interrupted. "Look, we may be stuck here, but we don't need to be alone." Mia felt the warmth of Lena's words, the truth embedded in them. There was something inherently powerful about joining forces against the storms of life, the storms that threatened to separate them. Let's make a plan, Mia suggested, feeling the energy shift. Maybe we can figure out how to remain safe until it passes. Together, Lena repeated, her eyes sparking with determination. The man nodded slowly, a hint of disbelief crossing his face. Are you sure? I don't want to bring trouble to your door. Trust us, Mia replied, feeling both terrified and hopeful. We're fierce enough to handle it. As they began to discuss next steps, laughter mixed with serious conversation, Mia felt the anxiety lift slightly. They talked about barricading the door, gathering supplies from the shed, and laying a strategy for when they would venture out, yet, just as the atmosphere inside warmed with camaraderie, a loud crash echoed from outside, shattering any momentary safety they had forged among them. What was that? The man exclaimed, eyes wide with alarm, their breaths hitching with unease. The three of them exchanged glances filled with trepidation. What more could this storm throw at them? Would their newfound alliance hold against the tempests both outside and within? Stay close, Lena whispered again, gripping Mia's arm tightly, their solidarity forming a barrier against the unknown. But as they turned to the door, preparing to face whatever lurked outside, Mia sensed this was only the beginning. What else lay beyond their fragile shelter? Would the storms unite them or reveal rifts too deep to mend? As the crashing echoes of thunder faded into the distance, a new day broke over the horizon, soft golden light spilling across the garden like a promise. The storm had dissipated, but its aftermath lingered in the air around them, invigorating and heavy. Mia awoke inside the shed, cocooned in the warmth of sunlight filtering through rain-speckled windows. She blinked the sleep from her eyes, the events of the previous night flooding back with vivid clarity. The man Jason, as he finally introduced himself, had been frightened but had shared his heart with them. The three of them had huddled together against the storm, their fears merging into a shared resolve that felt almost magical. Lena stirred next to Mia, her wild hair resembling soft dandelion fluff. What a night, huh? She said with a sleepy yawn, a smile emerging as sunlight danced across her face. Yeah, Mia replied, a rush of warmth blooming in her chest. She felt lighter, as if the storm had washed away something heavy she never truly understood she was carrying. But today feels different. Like we turned a corner. They stepped outside to a transformed world, the garden glistening with droplets, a vibrant invitation for new beginnings. Look! Lena exclaimed, pointing to the earth. The flowers. They survived. The garden was alive with freshness, the color of each flower, the glimmer of damp leaves, and the aroma of wet earth filled Mia with a familiar thrill. She couldn't help but think back to her earlier musings about transforming the garden into a haven. And not just survived, they thrived. What do you say we celebrate by planting those vegetables today? Lena suggested, enthusiasm bubbling over. Mia felt a jolt of excitement. This was it. They had a chance to create something beautiful together. Yes. Let's start planning our vegetable patch right now. But as they turned to the shed for supplies, Jason emerged from the shadows. Can I help? He asked hesitantly, shivering a little, the remnants of the storm still clinging to him. Mia exchanged a glance with Lena. Absolutely, she said, her heart swelling with gratitude. The more, the merrier. The three of them set about their tasks, digging the ground, laying out rows for the seeds, and sharing stories. Each revelation felt like a fading bruise, the weight lifting with every laugh and every shared dream. As they worked side by side, Jason spoke of his lost family and the fight to remain hopeful, while Lena shared tales of childhood joys wrapped in the warmth of her father's love. Mia hesitated before opening up, the memories still raw, but as she listened to them, she found her voice. I sometimes feel like I failed. I lost touch with my parents when I needed them the most. If I could only reach them. Telling them how you feel can help, Jason said quietly, his encouragement wrapping around her like a hug. They can't know unless you show them. For the first time, Mia stopped to consider what it might mean to initiate a conversation, to reach out despite her fears. Maybe the storm was more than just chaos, it was a chance for healing. Hours slipped by, laughter mingling with soil-stained hands and hopeful hearts. As they planted the last seed, the symbolic beginning of their garden's journey, Mia looked at her friends, feeling a warmth radiate in her chest. This is just the start, isn't it? I believe we can build something amazing here. Yes, Lena agreed, her eyes sparkling with resolve. Together, we're unstoppable, rain or shine. As they stood side by side, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves around them, Mia felt something profound shift within her. The weight of her past was still there, but intertwining with the hopes for tomorrow felt lighter, more manageable. The sun began to set, casting golden hues across the horizon. They joined hands in a circle around the vegetable patch, a tangible promise manifesting in every shared breeze and every rooted seed. They could face the storms ahead together, each tear and laugh carrying their newly forged bond. Promise me something, Mia said, her heart full, whenever we face doubts or fears. Remember this moment. Look how far we've come. Always, Jason and Lena replied, their voices in chorus, echoing through the garden, a harmony of togetherness and newfound strength. Mia smiled, fully aware that the journey ahead might hold challenges, but she had faith in their shared resolution. They were a family forged amid storms, ready to bloom. And with a flicker of hope, she understood that they were no longer defined by their past. In this journey together, they would uncover the beauty of transformation, sharing love and laughter. As they leaned into an unknown future, Mia felt empowered, her heart open like the garden itself. Perhaps every storm held the potential of rebirth, an invitation to begin again. Perhaps hope could flourish when nurtured by connection, friendship, and kindness. All they had to do was keep planting. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that'll inspire and touch your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread these powerful tales. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. We want to hear from you. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans know how vital your support is.